Are we moving on to the next item then for the alternative education report? And so we have Dr. Skafronic and Ms. Hoffman and Ms. Botch to talk about the alternative education report.
And it's true, yes. Mr. Hay did receive more money than me, but you can't buy love. All right. So. Ever. That being said, you received some information. Just this is a kind of a summary of what we have happened this year. And again, you know, like Mr. Hay pointed, it's a team effort. You know, it isn't just one of us. It's a lot of people working together, trying to pull and help at-risk youth so that they can move on with their lives and have opportunities like we all have. And the top bullets are really the important ones. Again, we're approaching 300 students that have come through these doors and graduated across to the stage, and that's been, we ended our 7th year. That's quite an achievement for our district and for those students. Again, this was another large year. It says 49. One finished about a couple weeks ago, so it's really 50. So again, it's just, you know, a lot of at-risk youth that are coming through. Some very nice success rates. I think the bottom bullet there up on the top of that page is, you need to understand is when we assess these students on rigorous norm reference measures, the students that are leaving the Waukesha Academy and the Robert Cooper Learning Center score in the top third in the nation of all graduated seniors. So this is not an easy place to get through. These are not students that, you know, are incapable or unmotivated. They just learn differently, and they can achieve, and they can achieve very high laurels, and they can really succeed. And to maybe explain a little bit more about that, I also brought, obviously, Ms. Hoffman and Ms. Bouch, and I am going to trade places with them and hand some stuff out. We have a copy of the yearbook and just some brochures that you can find on our website, and I will...
I think Mrs. Bouch would agree with me, and we say it all the time, that we really have the most amazing job on earth. We really do. We're so blessed. We get the opportunity to see these kids come in and just really transform, going from having, you know, very little self-confidence, really no hope, to when they graduate holding their heads high, having confidence, having a plan for the future. They know what they're going to do. They're going on to college. They're going into the military. They have the skills they need to get a good job. And there really is no greater feeling than being able to help a child go from, you know, really struggling to graduating and feeling good about himself or herself. So many of these students that we have come in with just tremendous obstacles that they faced, obstacles that would for sure have stopped me. I look at these kids and I'm amazed all the time that they've made it as far as they have, that they're as resilient as they are, they're as intelligent, they're as determined. I mean, they're fighters, and they want to do well. They want to graduate, they want to have a life, but they faced a lot of really just horrendous obstacles in their life, and it feels so good to be able to give them that chance. And I'm so grateful to the school district that you all believe in another chance, and that we can do that for these kids, that we can help them get back on their feet and be productive citizens and go on and do something with their lives.
Very proud of our program, and we want to share it with you. And I know many of you have come out too and seen the portfolio presentations that the students do, and you know, and if you've sat through those, you've heard that our students come from all different walks of life. There isn't one particular student that fits an alternative ed mold. Some have had social struggles, others it's academic. Sometimes too it's just their home life hasn't been great, and that's really brought them down through school. And it's nice that they have a place that they can come to and feel special and important and cared for, and you know, they can learn, get their diploma, and go on and do better things, and they gain self-esteem while they're in the program as well, which is nice to see students change when they come in the fall, and then as the year progresses, you know, they leave a whole new student. So it's really wonderful. We always encourage you to come out, you know, see the portfolio presentations. We send out invites when we do them, and we really encourage it. And I know the students really enjoy having guests come out, especially when it's a school board member. They get really excited. They feel really special, because that's a big deal to them.
So they have a voice.
Yeah.
And these kids, are, well, they're so amazing and they're so special and they've come so far, and I just, it's hard to put it into words. You really, if you're there and you see that and they get to talk to you, you'll know that every student has a different story. They all have a different reason why they came, and it's not just the stereotype of, they were troublemakers, because they're not. They're people, and they have, a lot of them have a lot of issues in their life that they need to resolve, but there's so many different reasons. Some were homeschooled, some had illness, some have moved a lot, and so their credits didn't transfer. Others have social issues, a whole multitude of reasons why they come to our program, and it's wonderful that they've got a chance to go on, because the alternative would be that we lose them, and what a loss that would be if we didn't give them a second chance. We lose these great kids who have so much to offer.
So what we handed out too was the yearbook that we put together every year for the students, just something for them to take with them. And we, do a nice cover and back for them, but each student has some of their work in there. We publish some of it for them. And, some of them have their friends sign it, the traditional yearbook, that kind of thing, or us even. But the yearbook, though, is something that the kids really look forward to, and they help put it together as well. They pick their pieces that they'd like to go in there, and we would have students who help edit it for us, too. And it's kind of a culminating thing for the program. And also we handed out just brochures that we have from Milwaukee Street Academy. So it does have our update in there that Mr. Skowronek read off. It's listed in the brochure, but also just a little bit about Milwaukee Street and what it is, and what it entails. So if you have questions, always email us or call us, anything. We're always happy to share. We just enjoy what we do, and we enjoy the students that we get to work with, and we're just very happy that the school district has supported. So.
Does anyone have any questions?
No, just a comment though. You have a volunteer component in there, and I have been fortunate enough over the years to get to know a few students from there by their volunteering, and I'm sure there's other places in the community that feel the same way.
Yeah, part of the graduation requirements are they need to do 30 hours of community service, and they end up really, really enjoying that and feel connected to the community again. And the community gets to see the value of how awesome these kids are. So that's a wonderful part of the program, for sure.
Well, let me just jump on the bandwagon. I hope Mandy and Donna know I'm a big fan of the program. I've been out to several of them, and Paul knows as well. It's been one of the most amazing things I've seen in the school district. I have to say, I don't think a lot of people understand what's going on out here. I think a lot of people have a misconception that misfits get sent out here, and they may be the square pegs and the round holes, but I truly think some of the most amazing successes are happening right out here, and I've been to several of the MSA portfolio presentations, and they are very, very compelling. And I happened to be at the one where it was the young lady who ended up giving this speech at graduation, and so I had heard her give it as part of her portfolio, and so you have certainly my full support. I think it's an amazing thing, and I've gone back and told others, it's interesting. I wish maybe all the other students had to do what they had to do here, because there are so many extra things beyond the academics. They take so many different tests, and they have to do interviewing skills and resume skills, and there's so much preparation for going outside of these walls. So thank you for all the work. I'm truly a big fan of what you're doing here.
Part of the program, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, they have to pass 5 graduation tests, and they have to pass it in their nationally normed test, so they have to pass it at the national graduating average. And we borrow and contract and use the HSED test because they're nationally normed, and we can compare how they do compared to high school graduating seniors nationwide. And so they have to average at least a 450 on all their tests, and most of our students do well above that. And you can tell by our data that our overall average last year was 541, which is well above the 450 requirement, and that's, all of our students average together. In addition to that, they all take the Compass test, which is the Western College entrance exam. It's like the ACT for the technical colleges. Some of our students take the ACT, but all of the students take the Compass test. They take the ASVAB. They go through a multitude of different things where they meet with college counselors, and we take college trips, and we do a lot of transitional work to get all those steps in place. We have the FAFSA people come out and do the FAFSA with the students and the parents, and so everything's in place for when they graduate, so they have a plan. And that's really important for these kids. So in addition to that, they also finish this comprehensive portfolio, and they do lots of job preparation and interviewing skills and career research and college research and personal budgeting and civics. And so when they leave, our hope is that they're ready for that next step. But when they come in and when they leave, what we're finding is their test scores are college ready for sure. We have extremely bright kids, so they were learning all along. Our school system is working for them in a way, in that they were learning because they come in with college level reading. But for whatever reason, it just wasn't showing on their assessments or their grades. They do amazing work. They surprise us every year. Every year we say, it can't get any better, and then every year we're like, oh my gosh, they're better. It's an amazing group.
The percentage increases that you're showing here for reading, math, and writing, I mean,
Yeah, we really push reading, writing, and math. With the portfolio, they do lots of writing and lots of corrections. And
with that portfolio, because they're doing their corrections, their own corrections, we do peer drafts and the teacher drafts, and we do multiple drafts. And the point with that, though, is that they're correcting their mistakes. They're learning from their own work, so it's interesting to them, it's relevant to them, and that's what we notice with the reading and the writing especially goes up, and a lot of it I think is attributed to doing the portfolio and a lot of the writing in there. And we do also reading every day. They have to read when they come in. It's required to do about 20-25 minutes of reading, and then they get to journal their thoughts down about what they read, and they just answer some basic questions, but it's kind of get them to start thinking about what they're reading. And just, I think, doing the reading every day also really attributes to that increase in their scores by the end of the year.
It's great to hear the report that you've given, and I'm actually very proud of the fact that Toma has this capability of helping kids, and to hear what you've got to say, it means a lot to them and the community and society. So it's just great to hear your report.
well, we have the greatest job. We love our kids.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, and I would just note that the success of the program, Mandy and Donna talk about great kids coming in, and that's part of the whole puzzle. But it's also the staff that we have working with them, because you could take two other individuals who aren't as authentic and who don't truly believe that every child needs to be given that opportunity to find success, and we wouldn't see the same degree of success. So a lot of it is attributed to both of you and your efforts and letting kids know that you care and you're there for them, and we really appreciate that effort.
Thank you.
And I have to say, too, when I was at the portfolio presentations, it is evident that the kids appreciate you. They really do.
That's why it's just glad to get some hands.
Yeah.
They weren't for me,
and
for
that-
them, but they weren't on stage.
To me, that
Well, you're a
means
big
that
part of
says a
it,
lot.
too, because you
That just
you
says
love
a
the
lot.
kids,
That they're
too.
getting a lot out of it, and you can see by the numbers they are, and their presentations were wonderful.
Yes, well, we appreciate that. We allow the programming to continue. You see the best in them, too.
Thank you very much.
In addition, you asked for some information, a little review with our expulsions. Okay, obviously maybe a little bit more of a negative discussion than what we just had, but actually I would differ. About 7 years ago, the board changed some of the alternative ed programming that we had here, thanks to a lot of people involved trying to improve things. And we started the Decisions program, which was an option for the board at those difficult nights when you were faced with the possibility of an expulsion for a child. In the last 7 years, we have, on average, we've had about 5 expulsions a year. And again, if you're going to say, well, how does that compare? Again, unfortunately, that kind of data, comparison data, is very hard to find. But based on our networking that we have, I would say that is actually kind of on the low end. But again, I don't have any proof when I say that. When we took a look at the students that have been expelled since we started the decision programming, 87% of students that have been expelled in Toma have either had graduated or are graduating or have graduated from another program like Challenge Academy. So 87% of students are on track or are graduating, or have graduated. And again, there's a small percentage, obviously the other half of that have not, and these are students that have dropped out. I have no way of getting a hold of them. They're missing, okay? Before decisions, it was flipped. 82% were dropouts, okay? Again, I'm not exactly knowing what you wanted to know. Obviously, the majority of the students that we deal with on those nights are high school, but some are middle school. The reasons why they're before you are pretty similar. It's drugs or weapons or other things. But again, do you have any questions for me?
Just proud of that figure that you got, 87%, Paul. That's extremely good.
Well, that's because of you.
Yeah, when we expel students, and been involved in a lot of them, we emphasize the point that we're not giving up on you. You have a chance to turn this thing around. And that shows, that 87% shows that that's true. So I'm happy for the program that we have. Sorry, Deb.
No, I think exactly what you said, Mr. Grovestein. What we've always wanted to know and be validated is that when we give the student the extra opportunity to work their way back through the decisions program and into the school and have a chance, we want to know, are we successful? Does that happen? And, we really don't have a lot of contact and know what happens with those students after the fact. So just as you've provided, that's what we wanted to know, I think. So.
It's very true that you don't leave a child behind. We don't give up on them because what they can develop into is amazing things out there once they get that into their head. They're not left alone.
So are you saying that 13% of the students that we expel and come over here, they're leaving the program at some point and not graduating, or they just aren't?
No. Of that 13% that are dropouts, either they never made it over here, okay. Or they've moved and didn't continue. There's a lot of data in this country, so when a student does transfer, eventually we're going to find out. And we just have ways of our own networks of trying to keep track of the students, because that is one of the charges you have given us, is that, yes, the student has an order to go through, but part of that order is to come back, and I do make every effort possible to track that student and that family down to make sure that that order is carried out. But sometimes if they leave the state, I can't find them, or they just refuse. But again, I wish it was 100% graduating or on track to graduate, but it is not. However, I was kind of pretty surprised to see the pre and post, before decisions or after decisions type information, because 87% is nice. I wish it was a lot higher. And I was a little discouraged until I saw what it was, and then I was like, oh, okay, things are improving. That's what we like. We're getting better. We want to see that we're getting better. I just want it to be higher. So sometimes the students never made it back here.
It's good to hear how it's gone from that to this with that, because I think I can speak for all of us. Expulsions are I think, the toughest thing about this job, because we take very seriously students' futures. And we, after everybody else leaves, after the administrators leave, after the families leave, we sit and we talk and we discuss it. And then boil down to a decision, but we are very serious about it. It's a hard decision to make. It's the hardest part of it. So I'm glad to see that it's working.
It's working.
Anything else?
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for the research.
Thank you.